Good morning, challengers. Welcome to day 5 of One Step to Peace every day. If you've been following the prompts and working on them from days 1 through 4, you should be really proud of yourself because I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you've been showing up for your challenge prompt every day and being intentional about finding your way back to peace. Now, the first 4 prompts, and I have to say this quickly before I tell you what today's prompt is. Over the weekend, I had a couple of people write and say, "Hey, where's day 5? Where's the prompt for day 5?" And I had to say, we are in the weekend and we will be back on Monday morning. So it lets me know that you are really enjoying the challenge, and I'm so grateful. So many of you have jumped right in. Maria Sophia, hi, how are you doing today? So nice to see you here. So the first 4 days, the challenges were all doing prompts, right? So I gave you journaling exercises. Hi from, oh, you're from Argentina. Wonderful. So glad you can join me here. So the first 4 prompts were all about doing prompts, right? I told you to journal. I told you to make lists. It was about changing behaviors, recognizing patterns. And today we're changing gears slightly and doing a being prompt, right? So today's prompt is breathe. Most people have no difficulty when it comes to doing. We live in a world that celebrates doing, going all the time. But when I tell my clients to just be, that's when they struggle. They don't know what it is. How do I just be? How do I get anything done if I just have to be? So here's your practice for a being challenge. Today's step is breathe. And I've given you a little introduction on how to do it in the description. But here's what I want you to recognize. Breath is the bridge between the physical and non-physical worlds. Good morning, Deb. How nice to see you here. Breath is the bridge between the physical and non-physical worlds. You and I are here because we have breath in our bodies. Let's not forget that. Breath is such a powerful and important gift. We're walking around experiencing life because we have breath in our bodies. But how often do we recognize this miracle? How often do we breathe intentionally? Most times we're walking around taking breath for granted. So that's why today's prompt is about breathing. Because your loved one is no longer here because they don't have breath in their bodies. You and I still have the gift of breath. So let's use it. Let's use it intentionally and mindfully. And if you think to yourself, well, I don't have a lot of time to do these prompts, you have time to breathe, right? You may not have time to make a list or sit and journal, but every one of us has time to breathe. If you have kids in the house, go lock yourself up in the bathroom to take 3 breaths. We all have time for 3 breaths. Go sit in your car and do some breathing for 2 minutes. We all have time to breathe. So, as you're doing these steps, I hope you recognize that bringing peace into your life doesn't take too much time. It takes anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, but the trick is to be mindful and intentional. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to focus on. And so if you can find some way to bring 5 minutes of intentionality into your daily living experience, that's all it takes to shift you from stressful thinking to peaceful thinking. And that's why it's so useful to have a coach like me who comes in every day and encourages you and cheerleads you and gives you a prompt to work with, right? So today's challenge is breathe. So I want you to sit down or lie down, whatever is more comfortable for you. And don't do this if you're driving. Make sure you're stationary and settled somewhere. That's why I said go and lock yourself up in the bathroom if you need to, if that's the only private time you have. And just close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Begin to notice your breath. And it's so useful to do this to a count of 4, 4, and 6. So as you inhale, count 1, 2, 3, 4. And stop when you get to 4. And then now hold the breath for a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then release for 6. So why is the release number longer than the breathing in and the holding? That's because it's when we release our tension, our stress, our worry on the out breath that the nervous system begins to relax. So your exhale should always be longer than your inhale. So if you do this 3 times, if that's all the time you have, if that's all the mind space you have, that would be more than enough. The reason why it's useful to count as you're breathing is because it gives you something to do. If I said to you, just sit down and notice your breath for 5 minutes, that would be more difficult than counting to a breath of 4 on the inhale, holding for 4, and exhaling for 6. When you have something to do, when your mind has a task to perform, it becomes easier. And as your heart and lungs and belly begin to expand with this kind of deep breathing, you will find that you feel more expanded, you feel more energetic, you feel more grounded. So that's my invitation to you. Go try this. Breathe for 3 minutes if you have the time. And if you feel that you really like this exercise, put a little alarm on your clock, on your phone, and repeat the exercise in the middle of the day and again before you go to bed. And I'm longing to hear what you all have to say. I love that you share your insights and your aha moments. I'm waiting to read all of your comments and questions. I will be back later in the day to check in. So go ahead and breathe mindfully.